Hello everyone, welcome to Monk Chat. Here we are at I'm actually at the University of the West, and I'm joining with you today on behalf of Empty Cloud Buddhist Monastery, New Jersey, and also Buddhist Insight. And thank you everyone for joining us. I can see some of you joining here. Baby Michelle, Rickton, Gitanyana, John Baez, Rickton, and Jayanta Fernando. So, with today's monk chat, I would like to share with you some thoughts. If you have any question, you are always welcome to let me know. Amar Malik Kumu. Yes, I think Rick has a question here. Bhante, can you suggest suttas or practices that can help practitioners be content? I think many of the suttas are there in the Tipitaka. If we take even simple suttas like Karaniya Metta Sutta, okay, they are amazing and powerful suttas. Karaniya Metta Sutta is very useful and very helpful if you want to practice loving kindness meditation. Uh, Karaniya Metta Sutta. The first part of the Karaniya Metta Sutta actually talks about the um, it talks about the qualities of the metta practitioner. Okay, so if you want to practice metta meditation, loving kindness meditation, you need to be simple, you need to be humble, and also you have to make sure that you live with simple lifestyle. Salla Hukavutti, for example, simple lifestyle. And you don't have too many work, you are not too much busy. This is also important. And and then Karaniya Metta Sutta, the second part of the Karaniya Metta Sutta talks about how important it is to practice loving kindness for the benefit, well-being, happiness of all sentient beings, not only to your loved ones, not only to yourself, but also to every sentient being. It's really important. I think this is a very famous sutta that many of you know about, and I also have done some discussions when I was in Empty Cloud last time. And yeah, we can still discuss more about that if you want to discuss more about this sutta. And apart from that, there are quite a number of suttas. Satipatthana Sutta is one of the best. And of course, you can practice so many things, like whether it is Anapana, whether it is what do you call Samatha Bhavana or Vipassana Bhavana. Satipatthana Sutta has all kinds of advices. And then we have more suttas in the Tipitaka. Sutta Pitaka especially has many suttas. I would like to say, in general, the general theory is that when we practice meditation, we need to follow the three steps: Sila, Samadhi, and Panya. Okay, Sila means you are working on your own precepts. You need to practice precepts. It's really important. you practice precepts. When you are firmly established in precepts, it's easier for you to go ahead and work more on your concentration. So samadhi will happen when you are um, bodily and verbally restrained. You have your precepts well maintained. Sometimes when we meditate, it can happen so that we feel like today my mood is not working well, or today I'm not able to practice, not able to what do you call, concentrate. And so you can see my mind is wandering, all these things. If that happens, what you need to do, you also can think, look back into your own sila. Maybe you need to observe your sila again, and make sure you determine more this time that yeah, you are practicing more. And that way people will be able to um, practice more better with more concentration. So sila is helpful when you want to improve your samadhi. And when you are in samadhi, then you can attain the panya. So that's one thing I wanted to share with you. I hope it helped. And also a lot of people join. Thank you, John Bass, Rikton, Geeta, Jayanta, Kumu. I remember some of you already. Amir Malik, Dulani, okay, Sudha, uh, okay, and also what's his name? T and Yaneshwar Moore, and Bhavani Chandrasekhar, Amaranta Arcadia Castillo Gomez, and yes, okay, yeah, okay. Welcome to Empty Cloud Buddhist Monastery again. Outside today, and here in California, it's so wonderful, and it's not so cold like you. Although I miss sometimes the snow over there. Um, so let's go to the second question. Okay, there are other side of Gita Jnana says there are 3-4 people in the other side of Buddhist inside. Okay, I'm sorry if that is the case. Yeah, welcome all of you. Okay, I guess they will figure it out. Yeah, join us here, hopefully. And also, Sud asked, Bhante, I just wanted to say I appreciate your chanting 2 weeks ago that was broadcasted online. I'm listening to it. Very peaceful and helpful to my meditation. Okay, thank you, Sudha. I also remember very well how wonderful you have been there in New Jersey when you were preparing dana for us. And also you were always very enthusiastic in practicing. And if the chanting was helpful, so much the better. I would also like to say, please join sometimes. Sunday evening we have 2 programs here. Sunday 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. Pacific time. 4 p.m. is 7 already in Eastern time, but 7 p.m. here means 10 p.m. In the night. I don't know if you are still free. Welcome to join. Uh, Bhavani Chandrasekhar, Namaste. What sort of panya will Buddhist monks develop? Can you ask questions on your Dhamma USA channel also? Yes. If you ask any question, yeah, I can see In our Dhamma USA channel also, Bhavani is asking the same question. Um, is this Dhamma? Yeah, I think, yes, you can ask a question over there too. Tindulani also has a question there. What sort of panya? Panya means, I think you're talking about panya. So, what sort of panya will Buddhist monks develop? In Buddhism, we talk about panya that will lead us to the final liberation. So, the panya is that we think that there is no permanent entity, what we call soul. Um, like anicca, dukkha, anatta, these are the three main things that we deal with panya. Whenever we see something, we see the impermanence in that, and we see there is suffering and impermanence, and also no permanent entity. Let's say, for example, when we meditate, you meditate and then you have pain, and when you have pain, you see it is suffering already, and then you also see it's not permanent. Even the pain is not permanent, and you don't panic, you just don't move your posture, you keep still quiet, and you will feel so wonderful, and you will see that the pain will disappear eventually. In that way, uh, anicca and dukkha, and eventually there is no entity called I, me, myself. In the pain itself, we don't see I, me, myself. That's the thing about panya. Yeah, so when you practice on this, you will be able to get rid of all kinds of attachments that we have. We think this is me, this is myself, this is my mine, all that kind of sakaya ditti, or like self identity, or think the way of thinking that this is me myself, and you will recognize, you will realize that there is nothing like that. Everything is impermanent, everything is subject to permanent impermanence, change, and we cannot say that there is something that we can claim as me myself. Our family members, for example, our children, loved ones, all those things, and also the um, also our um, material prosperities, all the possessions that we have, my house, my property, my business, all these things, my everything will be impermanent, everything will be gone, and nothing we can claim as ours, mine. That is the kind of panya that we actually inculcate, develop in meditation. I hope you get. So if you have any follow-up question, please, Bhavani, you are welcome to ask. And then Sud asked my question, does Buddha say anything about how drinking alcohol is bad karma? Does alcohol drinking alone lead one to lower realms? Yeah, that's a good question. um, Buddha has talked about Panchasila in many suttas. Panchasila um, has been a part of the practice Sila that the Buddha has prescribed in a number of suttas, actually, not really one. Even in the Vinaya Pitaka, we can see that. In the Sutta Pitaka also we can see many suttas prescribing Panchasila, Attasila, and Dasasila as Gahata Sila, or precept for the lay people. And these precepts, five precepts, for example, is really important for lay people. Very important. I think it's important for everyone. If we practice, irrespective of any religion, that will be very helpful to all of you. So what happens in the Panchasila, the last one, the fifth sila is Kame Suramere Majjapama Dattana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhyami. I undertake to observe the precept to abstain from drinks and drugs that cause intoxication or heedlessness. So, intoxicating and drinks and drugs that cause intoxicating and heedless effect can be disastrous, detrimental to your practice. It can definitely lead us to um, internal health issues, and also external other complications as well, like family, or maybe like when you drink alcohol, it might lead to some other complications too, conflicts. uh, One thing is there in suttas. I don't remember exactly which sutta right now because I'm just generally talking about this. But it is said, taking alcohol um, leads to decline our intelligence capacity, wisdom. So when we take alcohol, it is also like it also leads us to get out of control ourselves, and then you might even break the rest of the silas. Some people, when they want to do something wrong, they take alcohol as a kind of stimulus, so that they can do anything. They want to fight, they little bit of alcohol or drugs, they do certain things like that. We see that they themselves know, by taking it they are out of control and they can do whatever they want. I mean, out of control. So they themselves know it. And some of the people who do some nasty things, they take drugs and drinks. When you take drinks, alcohol, and you become out of your mind, and what will happen, you can hurt others, you can kill others, panatipata, killing living beings. You can steal others properties, and adinadana. You can even engage in sexual misconduct, kamesu michachara, and definitely you can tell lies too. So when you do take alcohol, these things can happen, and you never know your limit. And also, alcohol and especially drugs have very, very disastrous effect. Like, you get tempted to, and you can get rid of it, and there is addictive nature in drinks and drugs. So it is always very dangerous, very dangerous. um, there are some people who have come out of these very difficult situations. I know some really good friends of mine who have finally come out of those difficult situations when they were drug addicts, when they were very bad alcoholic people. Now they say, in retrospection of their journey, they feel so much better, so much comfortable today. And yeah, you need to see how it can be detrimental to your own health. Internally it can be very disastrous for yourself, and also externally your family members, and other friends and relatives will also not be happy. Let's say, like, there are some people I know, we also have seen actually, how people, when they get out of control, they shout, they yell, and outside, and the children, young children, feel very uncomfortable. They don't like their parents, like, yelling or using abusive language and all these things, just because of they themselves probably don't know, but those young children, family members, they feel really embarrassed. So taking drinks and alcohol, drinking alcohol is definitely a bad karma, right? You can see here in this life itself, it's a bad karma. So think of it very seriously, and you need a lot of guts. I mean to say, you need a lot of determination, not to get tempted by drinks and drugs. Okay, then Rick Thorn, thank you, Bante, your suggestion, very helpful. And Amir Malik, how important is sense restraint in regard to Sila? Yes. Amir, thank you for the question. I think it is also um, related to the five precepts and all the precepts, whatever we do. Um, like restraint is the main thing. Like we have eyes, when we see things through the eyes, we definitely need to restrain, right? We need to control them. Let's say you see some person, and you get tempted to do break sealer, and you let's say like somebody suddenly goes to a shopping mall, and they see something, and so nobody is around, and you feel like stealing something, and let's say like you walk along the path, you see a wallet or something fallen, and you feel like stealing it. um, you know so self restraint is restraining our senses would be really important. I remember one of my American friends said, I think they are trained in the schools. If it doesn't belong to you, you don't touch it. I really like that. He learned it from this school system, and I really like it. And because if it doesn't belong to you, you don't touch it, even though it is there lying somewhere. You know it is not yours, and you don't touch it. And that is adinadana. You already have that discipline in you. um, like you can be tempted when you see things through your eyes, when you hear music or whatever, you really have some exams going on, let's say like for the students, and then you are so much tempted to listen to music, and so you control yourself. And the other things are also like that. Many of you love to go to restaurant, to this restaurant, to that restaurant, Chinese restaurants, American restaurants, Vietnamese restaurants, many Indian restaurants. You all like to go to different restaurants, and then that is about our tongue, right? We have to control our tongue, maybe. Last night I met a friend of mine, a Filipino friend. Yeah, he said to me like he used to go to many restaurants. I said, okay, nowadays you have to control your tongue, because you get some weight already. Yeah, so it can be physically and also um, like harmful. Plus it will affect your wallet also. Eventually it's not good for us, like out of control. Senses, yes, senses, very important. Taking care of the senses, body senses, and even the mind. Most difficult one is the mind sense, though. It's even more difficult. But when we keep doing it, you will notice, you will recognize, yeah, things are happening better for you. Believe in yourself, determining yourself, keep practicing, and yeah, be determined that you're not going to be tempted by this thing or that thing by watching movies, maybe. Let's say lots of young children, Even like elderly people now, they want to watch movies, YouTube or something, um, the internet, even before going to bed, right? So what happens? You are haunted by those thoughts. Maybe horror movies, maybe adventure movies, maybe snakes, or all those millions of things are there. Tons of things are there in the internet that can distract your sleep. So controlling yourself will be really important. Controlling your senses, it's really important for your Sila. Okay. Dulani asks, can you explain more about the 4 layers of consciousness? I recently was reading an article online written by Tikna Han. Dulani, can you please, at least say what are those 3 layers? What do you mean by that? Maybe I'll get back to you, okay? Okay. And okay, I can see some of the questions here as well. I will go one by one. Gita Jnana, Bhante Sumitta, do we believe in a eighth storehouse consciousness? Allah consciousness? Is that Allah? Where all our past lives are stored, like in a computer CPU. Cause one of the Iddhi powers is remembering past. Huh. Okay, I think I remember, Gita, when you asked this question, I remember the discussion between King Milinda and Venerable Nagasena. King Milinda asked more or less the same question. He didn't ask about the computer CPU, of course, but he asked a question similar to yours from Venerable Nagasena many centuries ago. And what was the question he asked? Is there a storehouse of karma that you do, and where will this karma be stored? Um, he asked this question from the venerable monk. Venerable Nagasena actually gave a wonderful example. He asked the king, um, "Your Majesty, can you see the tree in outside the temple?" "Yes, I can see right here." "And what is that tree?" "That's a mango tree." "Okay, do you know about the mango tree?" "Yes, I know about the mango tree." "And do you see some mango right here?" "Yes, I can see a lot of mangoes, some ripe, some not, some raw mango, and also some young mangoes. And I can also see some flowers." "Okay, so what do you think during the off season? Do you think these mangoes are stored somewhere in the tree, um, in the trunk, in the root, in the leaves, or in the bark, or do you think they are stored somewhere?" And then the king asked, "Oh, that's not a wise question. That's a foolish question." When the conditions are right, when the things are okay, weather, the root, and the tree, and everything, when it comes to the right condition, then the flowers come, flowers bloom, and then the small young mango comes up, and then they also grow and they become ripe. That's how mango comes. All right, so Your Majesty, that is exactly the same way the karma works as well. There is no storehouse, there is no storage for karma. It is the condition. When the conditions are right, all your atita karma or past karma will come into effect. Let's say now, right now, you are attending a retreat. Okay, you are attending a 10 days retreat. So in the 10 days retreat, you also observe 8 precepts. So when you practice 8 precepts, you are away from many of those defilements. You feel very comfortable. You are away from those unwholesome thoughts and practices. And then when you are practicing, you are away from those negative thoughts, always positive practice and loving kindness. All these things are there in your mind all the time, and you are in the Dhamma. You are in the spiritual path. And what happens? You keep doing it for 10 days. It's not 1 or 2 days. Of course, the beginning is a really turbulent time. I know many people I have seen, they leave. They can stand that noble silence. Like, you can't talk to anyone. It's so difficult for many people not to talk to anyone. And so they're beginners, of course. Later on, you will see, after, I remember when I was attending a 10 days retreat in Goenka Center in Jaipur, India. That time I remember there were some people, they wanted to leave. They said they want to leave. They can't stand the noble silence. So the teacher asked, okay, you try one more day, just one more day. Couple of days would be ideal. You can somehow, sustain this. If you can sustain this, then you will be okay. You'll be able to go ahead and practice the rest of the days without any problem. It was true. Like the initial stage of our mind, we don't want to. We try to restrain. It's like a wild buffalo. It's so difficult to tame at the beginning, but once it is tamed, once you get used to that, you will really enjoy it. Just like at the beginning, a person who jumps into the swimming pool, he doesn't know how to swim, and he will suffer a lot, drowning and drowning and drowning and drinking more water. And so but later on, when you are mastering the art of swimming, you will enjoy swimming. You can swim for hours. Same thing. So in the meditation, so it's just like that. And also with the karma, at the beginning, as I mentioned, when you have the conditions right, all the negative karma that can come to you, because the conditions are good right now, even though the other bad karma, the past bad karma come to you, they will not be able to make any impact, harm you. This is the most beautiful thing that we need to learn in practicing the Dhamma. In meditation, it really, really helps you. Because in meditation, we feel bodily and mentally calm, and our mind becomes much more stronger. So it helps us a lot in taking the right decision and practicing ourselves and dealing with many difficult situations in life. So I must say, even though the karma storage is there, we still can control. That is our free will, our determination, our effort, our adhitthana and virya. Through these things, we can change even the past bad karma. Even though they come, if we don't create any conditions, most of these karmas can be bounced back. They can be bounced back. So that is why I mostly used to say, we have sati or mindfulness as a gatekeeper who can monitor all the incoming guests. So that those incoming guests can be monitored, and they can be bounced back at the gate itself without allowing them to come into mind. Some defilements, let's say anger comes to you, jealousy comes to you, or any other defilement like lust or any other thing comes to you, you recognize it with your sati or mindfulness. You will not allow them to come. It doesn't happen overnight for sure, but you keep doing it, you will be able to do that. I promise you, you can do that. Keep doing it, keep working it. It really, really helps all of us. Okay, that's a little bit about the karma. Yeah, we will learn more about the karma later on if you want. There are a lot of things to learn about karma, of course. Rick Thorne asks, what are skillful ways to practice with life altering pain and illness? Sometimes pain and exhaustion negatively impact my meditation. Yes, I think, Rick, pain and illness can be there with many. Like pain can be physically, little pains can be there at the beginning when you meditate. If you are not used to sit, let's say, like after sitting for a while, you feel like body pain, back may be painful, and maybe your knees or ankles can be hurt. So yeah, I think you keep working on it and you get used to it, and eventually your body will accept that. Your body will adjust to that situation. Eventually you will be able to sit for hours. And if there are certain chronic situations where you can really sit on the floor, maybe use some other supporter. Um, you can, maybe you can sit on a, on a chair, but try to make sure that you um, do not get the support all the time. Try to, as much as you possible, try to keep yourself independent, your body, your back independent from leaning towards the chair as much as you can. If you really have some difficulty, then you can even lean onto the chair. That's fine. The other thing is, maybe you need to sit on the floor for a while. Our body will be able to adjust. If you have some physical difficulties, of course, very, very difficult situation, then you can change the posture. That's a thing. I remember Bhante Sudasa was mentioning about this. When you have pain, don't try to change the posture, because changing the posture will not really solve the issue. You just you just observe the pain. Observe the pain impermanent. It will be gone too. It will not be permanent. So pain itself will be impermanent. So nothing to worry about that. And illnesses can be there too. Recently, one Vietnamese devotee asked me. She has a dog who's got cancer, and almost in the last few days of its life. So asked me to chant for the dog and what to do. Um, Another one again asked me, now the dog is really um, suffering. What to do? Should we go ahead and ask the family member? The other family members were kind of forcing her to take a decision to get rid of the dog. Should we do that? Euthanasia. Should we do that? I remember once Ajahn Brahm, when I was in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, Ajahn Brahm said something about this. He said, without taking the decision yourself, maybe you can talk to the dog. You really are so comfortable with the dog. You know every gesture of the dog. Ask the dog, talk to him. Do you really want to leave? Are you ready to leave? You know, maybe the dog might talk in the eyes, say something, give some sign. Maybe that will be a little bit better than you taking the whole decision all by yourself. Because when we get sick, we just still want to live more. Let's say you have some problem in your leg. you will amputate. You want to live more. Let's say the doctor say, if you live with this, you will die. If you amputate your leg, you can survive. Then you will give consent to the doctor. Okay, get rid of my leg. I will survive. There are people like that, without eyes, without ears, without nose, without legs, without arms. People still want to live a little more. And even without some internal body organs too, you want to live more. So how do we take a decision to get rid of those animals? Just another thought for you. So I would like to say, everyone will die, with or without sickness. Everyone will die. Even especially today, a lot of people, they have sickness. They will die. So mm, during the pandemic, we knew how people have been traumatized by the pandemic. So I think it's okay if, even if we get COVID, let's say, it's okay. You of course take precautions. You definitely need to take precautions. You have to take care of your own body. You have to love yourself too. When you say sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitata, may all beings be well and happy and healthy, that means you yourself have to take care of yourself. You have to send loving kindness to yourself too. It's important, yes. But then again, over worrying, too much worrying about things that have not yet happened, can be disastrous for you. Your phobia, your trauma is not going to help you at all. So just accept it. If it happens, that's okay. And when another Pindika, he was dying in his deathbed, he also had lot of pain. He had a lot of pain. And then he sent a message to the Buddha. And the Buddha sent Venerable Sariputta, Venerable Moggallana, and Venerable Ananda to Anathapindika. He was already a Sotapanna, such a wonderful devotee of the Buddha. Even to them, things can happen. It can be their own past karma or whatever. These things can happen to them too. And then Venerable Sariputta actually did recite some chantings, but then he actually talked about very profound Dhamma. He talked about, like, you don't think this, like, um, this body as myself, all this. Already he is sotapanna. He doesn't need more initial talks. But whenever Sariputta made sure that this pain is also impermanent, this is not me myself. He talked very deep Dhamma at that time. So I think we need to accept, if illness happens, if pain happens, we just accept it, but don't panic. Without panicking, without traumatizing ourselves, I think if we accept and still be calm, we'll be able to face it better. That's what I want to say. Okay. Hope it helped. Kumu asked Bhante, what is Kasina? Okay, remember seeing this when reading a sutta, probably in the commentary, but the explanation was not clear to me. Okay, Kasina. In the Visuddhimagga, Kumu, you can take a look at Visuddhimagga or Abhidhammata Sangha for more in-depth details on this. There are 40 samatha meditations, okay? 10 kasinas, 10 uh, 10 anusatis, and then um, dasa kasina, dasa asubha, dasa anusati. Okay, 10 asubha also is there. And so there are 40 samatha meditations, and in that kasina is one. You got a very good question. In fact, kasina is a really important meditation. Like different kinds of kasinas. Earth, Patavi kasina means you you have a platform where you have some soil. You made a patch of soil, and you look into that and practice patavi, 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 earth, earth, earth. You keep on meditating on that, and then you will see inside the body also you have patavi, and outside the body also external things are also made up of patavi. Patavi, apo, tejo, vayu, the four elements. So element meditation can be really helpful. And although we practice anapanasati, metta, and all, we cannot really improve what do you call those supernatural powers. If you want to have those supernatural powers, go ahead and practice kasina. Kasina will be helpful to get Dibba Chaku, Dibba Sota, and the other mystic powers. Yeah, so this is a good one. Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo, the four elements, and then also the one like Nila, Pita, Lohita, Odata, like different colors. You can practice on colors. Akasa, the sky, also is another thing that you can practice. These are some of the kasinas that we have. And let's say you can also do it, maybe you take a printout. If this is also is possible, you take a printout of a big yellow circle, okay, and that will be your yellow kasina. uh, and when you look at the yellow patch and take a look at that yellow patch for a longer time, and then close your eyes, and then you will be able to see that yellow kasina in your mind too. This is the again the upachara samadhi, arpana samadhi, all those samadhis, you will be able to improve on that. Keep working on that. You will also be able to practice that. I can explain more later if you want more details. Yeah, for more detail, Visuddhimagga and Abhidhammata Sangha, I would like to recommend. Okay, and thank you, Bhante Sumitta, sharing Dhamma wisdom and answering all our questions. Okay, you're welcome. And Bhante, how can one develop Nipidha skillfully in the present moment? Is it by seeing impermanence in all arising thoughts? Okay, this is again a question by Gita. Um, yeah, Nibida means in Sinhala we call Kalakirima. You are tired of things, you what do you call dispassion towards things. Um, everything happens because of our attachment, right? We are so much attached to things. We like this and we like that, and we are so much engrossed with the passions that we have, so much kilesa, so much attachment, attached towards our own near and dear ones, attached towards external properties, attached towards many things, and titles, maybe name and fame, many things we are attached to. And how do we get rid of them? Yeah, practicing Sila. Practicing Sila is one way of practicing dispassion or Nibbidha. It is said, the Buddha said, Nibbidhang virajyati. When you are dispassionate about that, you will get rid of it. And viraga vimuchyati. When you get rid of that, you will be able to liberate yourself. Vimutte vimutasming tinyanang udapadi. That means when you are liberated, you will recognize, you will be able to be aware of the fact that you have liberated. So, um, one way of practicing is Sila, yes. When you practice Panatipata, Veramani means already abstaining, already getting rid of it, getting rid of hurting others, killing others. Physically, mentally, remember, physically, verbally, mentally, this is not necessarily verbally, physically only. It can be verbally. It can be tormenting, like bullying people, it's a really big issue, bullying things in the schools. Young children, they bully each other, and many innocent children, they suffer a lot because of that. Yeah, it's not really good. So hurting others is not good. And then I would say, you respect others life. This is the meaning of first precept, Panatipata Veramani. I undertake to observe the precept to abstain from killing living beings. And when you say Adinadana Veramani, that means I undertake to observe the precept to abstain from taking things not given. That means you are respecting others' property. When you respect others' life, your life will be respected. When you respect others' property, your property will be respected. And Kame Sumichachara, when you respect others' family, your family will be respected. And Musavada Veramani, when you don't tell lies, your word will be respected. Everyone will respect you, actually. And then the last one, um, last means five precepts. Um, you don't take drinks and drugs. Everything will be so wonderful if you can do that. And then the sixth sila is a very good one for all of you to practice at least once a week or once a month. You practice 8 precepts. There you have the chance to get rid of vikala bhojana, restraining food in the untimely food. Don't take any solid food afternoon. And that's very helpful too, because we are living in the world of craving for food. And maybe this is a great way to practice that sila nibida. And of course this is much more deeper, but superficially or at the initial level, this is very good. And then the seventh sila is even more wonderful. What is that? Nacha Gita Vadita Visuka Dasana Mala Gandha Vinepana Dharana Mandana Vibhusanathana Veramani Sikkapadang Samadhyam. That means you get rid of all um, the the beautifications, cosmetics, and perfumes and ointments, whatever, all the makeup, and just be natural. Many of you have the problem, without these things you cannot even go out. I remember at the beginning of the pandemic, when all the salons were closed, many people had a big issue in going online and facing uh, through Zoom or something. Many people didn't want to show their face. I think sometimes you need to see yourself, your reality, your real you, your nature. That's okay, whatever it is, right? Why do we want to hide all the time from the reality? Just be yourself. That's fine. And yeah, this is really good one, the seventh sila. And then even getting rid of jatarupa rajata, that will be the eighth sila. That will be like getting away from all the other more precious thing, money, gold or silver or whatever, all the jewelry or whatever. And that way you become much more simpler, and you are more comfortable in practicing, more comfortable in practicing your 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 sila or your spiritual practice. Okay. And so Nipidha is something like that. You have to, at the moment, if you can do it, really good. But in practicing Sila, you will be able to do it. Maybe like when you practice Sila, I observe Sila in the morning, 6 a.m. And you think, okay, until tomorrow 6 a.m. I'm not going to break this Sila. That way you determine yourself. Okay, you determine yourself to be a wonderful practitioner. Your virya, um, your adhitthana, what do you call, determination and effort can be very helpful. Okay, thank you. And I hope it was helpful to you. All right. If Tulani, I was reading about the layers of consciousness: mind, sense, store, and manas. Oh, I think she's talking about. I'm not actually a good advocate to teach about Thich Nhat Hanh. I know I have a great respect for him as a wonderful Vietnamese Zen monk. I'm sure this question will be more um, applicable to Venerable Bhante Sudaso. He's a former Zen monk. But yes, in Buddhism we have in Abhidhamma we talk about Chitta Chetasika Rupa Nibbana, and we also have, I think, in Satipatthana, for example, Rupa Vedana Sanya Sankhara Vijnana. I hope this is hopefully this should be something related to that. Mind, sense, uh, store, and manas. Mind is chitta, sense is vedana, store I don't really know what does that mean in Pali equivalent, at least in our Dhamma thing. And mana is vijnana, so it should be chitta. um, we'll learn more about that maybe. Dulani, I'll get back to you hopefully later. Maybe you can ask that in the Pali class. She's our Pali student too. Sudha ask again, um, Bhante, in terms of intoxicants, can tea and coffee come under this, or is that going overboard? I think Sudha, you asked another very good question, because in a way anything can be, any food um, can be intoxicating, right? Let's say you really crave for certain food, that can also be kind of intoxicating. But I don't think tea um, or coffee for that matter can come under intoxicating. um, but I know in Myanmar, the Myanmar monks, they don't even take tea. uh, they think it's vikala bhojana, so they don't take tea afternoon. But in Sri Lanka, in other countries, it's very much a part of our snack. We drink tea all the time. And also for some people, some different countries, they have difficulty in drinking tea and coffee at a particular time. But I think, for example, some people who are used to tea, for example, me, if I drink tea just before sleep, I don't think I I have difficulty in sleeping. I think my uh, body is used to that. And also, some people have difficulty in drinking coffee. Yeah, that. But there can be certain drinks and teas, maybe coffee drink or teas, that can be difficult for some people. But I don't necessarily think it will come under intoxicate, unless you really crave for tea and you can live without it or something. Then it will become also an intoxicant thing. But hopefully the tea and coffee will not really deteriorate your health. It will not um, impact your health like the alcohol and drugs. Okay. Okay, then what is the way to repent in Buddhism? Ah, that's another question. Okay, repent in Buddhism. Okay, so I would say in among the Buddhist monks, we have Upasampada Buddhist monks. We have a practice what we call every month, twice a month, monks meet each other in Uposatha Sala, and that is a traditional practice actually. Doesn't necessarily happen everywhere, but those traditional monks, they still do it. So what they do is they do something called ayati sangvara. You know, this is kind of a repent in Buddhism. So in that we call um, we two monks, they confess each other. They confess each other. If I have done something wrong, okay, I accept it. And this is really important. I remember when we were in Empty Cloud also, we used to do that. And if they uh, do something by mistake or something, they would declare it to each other, and then accordingly the monks will do something. And most important thing here is accepting your mistake, accepting your fault, and also your truthfulness, your sincerity is really really helpful for your sila. Remember, it also is very helpful for your meditation, because you don't have any guilty consciousness later on. You know exactly what you have been doing, and you accept your fault, and then you also have an opportunity to get them rectified. The most important thing for all of us is to accept our mistake if we have done something wrong. And when we do accept, we have an opportunity to rectify the mistake. That is why it's important. And I think that's a very good way. All of us need to do that. You, I, we all have to do that. We are bound to make mistake. To err is human, right? So it's helpful. We just do it, accept it. And for lay people like you also can do it. Certain things you don't want to share with the others. Maybe you can share with wonderful good kalyana mitra friend, or a good monk. You can share it. I have this difficulty, I have this problem, and I don't want to share it other. I'm sure you shouldn't do it with everyone. There can be certain inside things that you don't want to share with others. For sure you shouldn't do it, I think. But you still should do it. You should share that with some good monk, or some good practitioner. Maybe you can really trust. You can really a good chaplain, for that matter, or good counselor. They will not share these things with anyone else. They are trained to do that. For example, if someone says something to me as some inside secret of their life, I have been trained not to share that thing with anyone else. So we will help you to, like, declaring that itself will be very helpful to you. It's like a really really big burden in you, and you just accept it, and you share with the monk, or a counselor, or a practitioner. Then they can give you some good advice. You really have a chance. This is, I think, um, a very good way, Sudha, in Buddhism. Um, this repenting thing, or it's not really. I don't want to use that word repent. Okay, I don't like that word here in Buddhism, but declaring, accepting your fault. I think accepting and declaring, and then um, yeah, in for monks they have many different activities that they, if they have done something really bad, they can also be kicked out of the temple. And there are certain things that you can do, and punishments are also there. Punishments in the sense not with bad intention, but with the training yourself, not to do that again. So there are things like that. I remember when I was a novice monk, um, I, I would say I have not undergone that punishment, but I know we had something called jala, like a water punishment. Like if you do something wrong, you have to water the bodhi tree like 21 times. With the ball, you take the ball around the bodhi tree and pour water 21 times. And yeah, and then also like asking you to clean the temple backyard and more area to cover, something like that. Those different punishments were there. Interesting. And also sometimes we were asked to study more. Okay, learn this thing by heart. Learn this difficult sutta by heart. Things like that. This is really fun way of punishing. I like that. Okay, yeah. So all of you have to accept. We all have that capacity to accept. If we do that, I think this will be very helpful to all of us eventually. No need to suppress these things within us. Okay, and another question. Uh, okay, yes, I think Sudha has another question. Could you please elaborate family karma? Family karma is Fese Kamalin. I'm sorry if I do not pronounce your name properly. Fese Kamalin. Also, I have some questions here in Dhamma USA. So, family karma can is like group karma, right? It's not only family; it can also be the whole group. Like there are people who are doing bad karma together, good karma also together. Like when we do a dana, we do it with some friends, relatives together as a group karma. So when you do that group karma, it will also benefit you as a group. And same thing with the bad karma. Remember some years ago, there was a, there was a situation in Thailand where young children, a group of young children, they were trapped in a cave for days and days. The whole world was watching, praying for them. They were so lucky. They were rescued alive. There is a story like that in Buddhism actually. A group come. Once a group of young children, they were chasing a lizard, and the lizard ran away, and he went into a sand hill. What do you call sand hill, right? Uh, a mount of sand. And then what these guys did, they block all the all the openings of the sand hill, and this innocent lizard was inside. He could not come in. Somehow, couple of days later, these guys remembered, oh, we did something. We just blocked the gates of the sand hill. We should go and open them. They just did it for fun, but later on they remembered and they went back, run into that and opened that, and the poor lizard was somehow still surviving. He did not die. He came out weird and tired, but he didn't die. And it is said because of that karma, they also had a very similar punishment in the samsara, just like those Thai children underwent. So they must have done something like that, group come together. These things can happen to us too. Sometimes people die in a maybe in a bomb blast. Don't really know how we have been involved. And in the bomb blast, some people very close to the triggering point also can survive somehow, and the other people far away from that also can die somehow. You never know. This can be part of the group karma. But having said that, this is not necessarily be so. This can be otherwise as well. Okay. All right. And Ante, I went on a vacation. Some of my friends said I should try alcohol. Is it breaking precept to have one or two sips of wine or margarita? I then didn't finish the drink if you break a precept. that's that's a good question. um, so Sura Mere Majjapama Dattana. I think it is getting dark a little bit because I'm outside. But it's okay. So Sura Mere Majjapama Dattana means, some people say, okay, as long as you don't get intoxicated, it is fine. um, so some people even say this is social drink. um, yeah, the thing is the thing is you don't get addicted. I think, I personally think this kind of social drinks um, is not a problem. I personally think, but don't quote me as something like an encouragement to you. To the point that you don't get intoxicated, to the point that you are encouraged to take it again and again. That is more important. Even for some other food can be intoxicating in that case too. So social drinks like this, if it's not like driving you to like crazy um, intoxications, um, I personally think it should be okay. But yeah, living a life, you sometime maybe you have to go, but you should know where to draw the line. And I don't know if you can continue to encourage yourself. That also can be a reason, like you open up and now, okay, take a little bit, it's okay, and then maybe you try another one. Okay. And so you don't know how you are going to end up. So be careful. Be careful is the best way, and not taking is the best way if possible. Avoiding is the most important thing. And sometimes your friends also will understand. Okay, you say, sometimes you have to be smart, skillful. You can say, okay, hey, I'm not taking this thing because of my health reasons, or I don't take it, I can't stand it, something like that. But I'm with you, I'm okay. Something like that. Um, you have to be skillful in that. Maybe your friends will accept it, they will not force you to do that. Okay. um, then what is the way to repent in Buddhism? Okay, I think I discussed about that. Amaranta asking a question. Bhante, can you recommend some way to have in mind the impermanence every day? Oh, Amaranta, the best way. When you wake up in the morning, you see, um, night time, you were sleeping, right? And you just kind of having, you had a temporary death kind of a situation. Now you woke up, it's like it's like a life, it's like birth. So in the night, sleep is like the death, and in the morning, waking up is like the birth. And then you see in the morning, sun rising, it's like the life, and sunset in the evening, it's like the death. You see the flowers in your backyard or front yard so beautifully blossoming, blooming, it's like the life. And evening or maybe a few days later, you see them fading away, it's like the death. You offer flowers to the Buddha, it's so beautiful when you offer, it's like the life. But after a while, you see, you can't offer to the Buddha anymore. You want to dump into the trash. It's like the death. And when you light a candle, the light, it's like the life, the birth. And then you see the candle is gone, only nothing left. And then it is like the death. And when you burn an incense, it's like the life, the light. And you see the incense is gone after a while, it is like the death. So the light and the darkness, now you see, at the beginning you saw me properly, now you don't see me, it's like the death. I'm going to disappear soon. Okay, you see now, death and life is always there with us. If you see this, every time we have it, you breathe in, this is like life. You breathe out, this is like death. Any of your, any single breath you take in or out can be your death moment. You never know. So every time we breathe in and breathe out, you focus, you concentrate, you contemplate on your death. You know, that is impermanence, that is the life. Every single time you wink, you open your eyes, you see the light, you see the world. You close your eyes, you don't see anything, it is all dark, just like life and death. Okay, I think there is not much more than this that you can learn from these um, day-to-day examples. You can see them. Okay, I hope it was helpful. All right, Bhante, how do we remove jealousy from our heart? Thank you, Pooh and Nguyen, for asking that question. So, yes, jealousy. I have a mantra if you want. You know, when you have jealousy, if you have jealousy in you, say one thing. Keep your palms together. I hope you can see me. Close to your heart and say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. How does it happen? This is the mantra. Okay. So jealousy happens when you see someone over smart, maybe better looking, maybe taller, maybe handsome, maybe prettier, maybe more richer, maybe more smarter, educated. You know, they have more things better than you. So you always compare, and then you think I am less. So there you get jealousy. And in Buddhist way, we call mudita, something called mudita. Mudita is sympathetic joy. In sympathetic joy, we think of people who are better off, and then we think, okay, they are better, and so this way they can maybe I use. So there's no light. Okay, I think you can see me like a ghost now. Okay, just for a while and we finish. Okay, I know I have so many questions now. So what happens? Um, um, So what happens here, we were talking about mudita, sympathetic joy. When you see someone is happier, healthier, better looking, more educated, more smarter, you keep your palms together close to your heart and say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. That way you will be able to get rid of jealousy. This is the mantra, as I mentioned. Every time you see something, you think of it that way. Oh, this person has done some good karma in the past, and that is why he has offered many dana in the past, and that is why he is so rich today, he is so wealthy today, he is more comfortable, he has so many things because of his own practice of dana in the past. One way of getting rid of jealousy. Okay, and then another way is um, oh, this person has practiced Sila, and that is why he is good looking. He or she is good looking. You know, Sila practice makes you prettier, makes you more good looking. Practicing Sila is that. So you keep doing that. That will be helpful to you. And yeah, that think of that person's past karma, good karma, because of that person is being helped because of his own karma, good karma. I also should do this. I should not be jealous of it. Rather, I should also be happy with that. I'm so happy he's healthy person. I'm so happy he's more wealthy person. I'm so happy he's more educated person. I'm so happy he's more richer person or whatever, good looking or whatever. And thinking that way, you will be able to get rid of jealousy. A very, very good question. I really appreciate Nguyen for asking that question. Okay. All right. I think it's getting dark and time to say uh, goodbye to all of you. And I see some questions. I think in Dhamma USA channel too, some people have asked some questions. Bhavani Chandrasekhar, I asked, replied to you. Tulani, I think we have to get back to you later on. Geeta, I think asked the same question again. I asked that question too. Thank you for posting that in the other channel. And yes, okay. And we have some people here. Sumedha Kotapola. Oh, Venerable Sumedha, how are you? Thank you for joining. Maitrang, hello. Dulani, yes. And Poonam Guen is here too. Okay. And the Buddhist Society of India. Hello. Um, okay. Thank you everyone for joining. It's getting dark. I had to go. And I appreciate you all for joining us and also wonderful questions. Hopefully, you were benefited. And we will say goodbye for now and looking forward to seeing you. I think I have another meeting with you later on, 25th, if I am not mistaken. So looking forward to seeing you in Empty Cloud Buddhist Monastery with Bhante Sudaso and Ayasoma and everyone. And thank you again from Dhamma USA here, Los Angeles, California. May you all be well, happy, healthy, safe wherever you are. May the Noble Triple Gem bless you, help you, protect you, and guide you towards the right path. By the power of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, may you always be well, happy, healthy. May all your family, friends, and loved ones, near and dear ones, also be well, happy, and healthy. All your friends, relatives, teachers, and elders, everyone in your community, everyone in your country, everyone in the world, be well, happy, healthy, be blessed by the Noble Triple Gem. May all devas, brahmas, or sentient beings also share this merit, be well, happy, healthy, safe wherever they are. May all of us and all of them be able to attain the absolute peace and happiness, the supreme bliss of Nibbana at the end of our samsara. Thinking thus, please keep your palms together, close to your heart, and say 3 times, Sadhu, Sadhu, sadhu. Sabbitiyo vivajjantu sabba rogo vinasato mate bhavattvantarayo sukhi dighayo bhava bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sotte bhavantu te Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te sadhu sadhu sadhu. Thank you everyone. I had the natural light today. With the light we started and with the darkness we stopped. Thank you. See you again.